Right guys, welcome back to Ultimate Fishing Simulator. I've seen a couple of comments in like forums and stuff, and Nath actually had a problem with his game as well, where you just can't catch a fish no matter what you do. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to properly fish, how to efficiently catch the fish on this game. We're at Betty Lake, and the reason we are here is because the other lakes that I have access to, as you can see, I've just hit level 8. The only area that is still locked is Pinus Bay, however you pronounce it. But the other lakes, the fish are kind of scarce. It's hard to actually, you have to use the boat really, to use the radars like the fish finders, to actually find the hotspots for the fish, because they're quite rare. Whereas in this first lake, it's the beginner lake, they're quite common. The species we're going for is going to be the rainbow trout. And the reason I'm going for them is going to be explained in the next video I do for this game. I'm still trying to figure parts out for the reason I'm going for this species, but you'll find out soon. I'll show you what I'm using. I've got the Aquino BT level 7 55 durability rod. I've got the Aquino FD 100 level 7 65 durability 45% drag standard type reel. I'm using the Aquino FL 533 braid 22 pound line level 6. I'm using the Q-Bot, I think that's how you pronounce it, E76 hooks. I've got the Aquino G625 float, and I'm using flies. The reason I have this set up is I've tried multiple hooks, and it only seems to be the size 2s, or like the first hook or this second one, the size 2, that actually catch any fish here. For some reason the triple hooks, like I think the hooks are too big for the fish in this pond, like at the lake. So size 2 is the biggest hook I've found to catch fish, and flies seem to work well as bait. I've tried other baits, it doesn't make a difference to the fish you catch really, neither does any of the equipment. So as long as you've got the level 1, the size 1 or 2 hooks, you should be okay, and then whatever else. The best depth I found, you have to find a sweet spot to find the fish, but the best depth I found is 196 centimeters with your float. So just drag that little slider down to roughly 196 centimeters. And in the other section, you'll see if I go to my float, I've got the optimal weight for my float is 14 grams. So if you go to the other section, you can buy the fishing net to land bigger fish. You can buy the float weights. You'll see I've got 14 of them because each one weighs a gram. So therefore I've now got 14 grams. The way that works is if you've got 2 grams, which I think is the beginning amount, like when you first start the game you'll have 2 grams of float weights. Your float, if it's got an optimal weight of more than the float weights you've got, then your float's just going to lay down in the water. So the more you increase the weight, the more it pulls down, and then that way the float's going to sit up. So the more weight on the end of your line, like towards your bait, the more weight down there is going to pull on the line and it's going to make the float stand up in the water. You'll see on the little radar to the right when we cast. So I've got 14 grams of weight on my float because that's the optimal weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to cast. My little sweet spot is out in front of me. I'm going to cast about just over half strength, and you want to use your scroll wheel to put your drag up to 15. Even though my drag goes to 45, 15 is the best I've found. And you'll see that the little slider next to the real drag setting is moving up and down. R and F is to do your reel speed. So put it all the way to the top and then bring it down 2 notches. And then we sit and we wait for a bite. Right, we've got a fish biting. So I'm going to watch the float on the right hand side. It dips under the water and then we strike. Then what you want to do is don't tap too much. Let the fish wear itself out a little bit. Let the drag go, just click every now and then. Don't let that tension get too high. Try and keep the rod level with like the distance of where the fish is. And what you want to do, you'll soon hear the drag stop. Like now, I can just reel. So you want to lower it down to 10. So you lower it down, the drag down 1 notch. Then you wait for it to stop again. then lower it down to 5, and then it should stop when this fish gets tired. There we go, down to 0, and then on 0 you want to put your reel speed up to maximum, just so that you get the fish in quicker, because it's 180 feet out. I don't know why it works like that, it just does. I found it to work. It's helped Nath, he's managed to catch loads of fish now. And we've got a 6.84 pound rainbow trout, which we're going to sell. So, to quickly recap, that is going to be the end of the video. You want to cast, you want to make sure you've got the size 2 or the size 1 hook. Use flies, use any bait you want, I don't think the bait makes a difference. Set your float depth to 196 centimeters, which is just under 7 foot, I think it was when we cast. 6.9 or something. And don't forget to buy the weights for your float so that it doesn't lay down in the water, because that way you're going to be able to tell when the fish is actually taking the bait so that you can strike. Then you want to cast out, get your sweet spot for where the fish are. Once you've cast, because my settings for the gear, like for the drag, sorry, is back to 0, just use your scroll wheel, put it back to 15. F twice to put the reel speed back to default. I think that's default. And then you rinse and repeat. So you get a bite, you strike, you hook the fish, and then you reel every now and then whilst the fish is taking the drag. And then when it stops taking the drag, it's getting more and more tired. You slowly level down a notch at a time on the drag until it gets to 0. Then you put your reel speed up to full and just reel the fish in. So that's going to wrap the video up. I hope it helps you guys. Thank you for watching.